Da igual si dei serpenti e gli altri animali. Cioè, è terribile, Come storia.
My research idea emerged reading a Namibian newspaper that commented on this reality. The journalist explained his refusal through practical reasons, for example the fact that the hospital is too far, or simply by attributing the refusal to the ignorance of the woman. Could the resistance have other causes, perhaps anthropological or cultural ones? Has everything possible been done to understand why the women don't take advantage of the hospital services? I formulate my research question: do the women who decided to give birth at the hospital lose part of their traditions? How much does that loss matter for them? Are we sure that the women who decided to don't come are simply poor, distant, or ignorant? The first destination of our trip is the city of Opuwo. I meet the health director of the region that welcomes me and explains me the Pharmax project. He tells me that the objective of the Opuwo district hospital is to have 100% of deliveries at the hospital in the 5 next years, but that the resistance persists for a part of the female population, and they are trying to fight that resistance. I'm welcomed in the maternity ward and immediately introduced in the birthing room, where there is a woman who is giving birth. Here I have an important first confrontation with what does it mean giving birth at a hospital in Opuwo. More things strike me forcefully. The fact that the patient is completely alone. The fact that she doesn't understand the languages in which the physician is speaking to her, and visibly the physician doesn't care. The completely distance and lack of empathy of the physician. The position in which the patient is forced to say. The fact that she doesn't speak, she doesn't say a word. I leave this experience very sad. I tell myself that empathy and the fundamental care have not been respected, that the traditions could not have space in this burning room where even humanity doesn't have space. This disturbing experience on the first day of my trip makes me even more motivated to start my research in the field. I follow the immunization team of Opuwo Hospital. I will take advantage of their presence and of their translation abilities to talk with the women about traditional birth. The first woman who I meet is a Hovahimba. We met her in a village about 50 kilometers from Opuwo, where she lives with the family of her daughter. She tells me that she has had 6 children, all born in the village. She tells me about Hovahimba traditional birth, about postnatal care, the sacred fire, the decorations for the marriage and the birth. When a woman is ready to give birth, she will be accompanied by the group of women outside of her home. They will assist her during her labor. Immediately after the child is born, the women return to her home. The mother and child then spend a week in a special shelter near the sacred fire under special protection of the ancestral spirits. After the week has passed, the child is brought to the sacred fire and introduced to the spirit of the ancestor by the head man. I ask if anyone into the village has given birth at the hospital. Yes, of course, she answers. I ask how was the experience, and to my great surprise, instead of speaking about unrespected tradition, she tells me with a great simplicity that the problem at the hospital is that the woman is alone. She gives birth alone, helped by a stranger. This is unacceptable for them. Our trip continues to a tribe of Hovahimba. We are welcomed by 3 women. To answer my question spontaneously, they decided to reenact a birth scene. Birth traditions are similar to the Hovahimba traditions. Only after the cord falls can the baby have a name. At birth, he will be given a house name, but once the cord falls, he will receive the name of the friar, or big name, that will be chosen by the father recommended on the other men of the village. We speak about hospital births. Various women of the village have given birth at the hospital. I ask if she has noticed any differences between the 2 given birth and about the possibility to respect their birth traditions. The problem is that they really do not have love. She's not speaking about traditions or problem about cultural identity. She is speaking about lack of love at the hospital. To better explain, she gives me an example. If you are the best physician into the world and you won't give medication to a patient, if you don't explain well with a lot of love why the patient must take the medicine, he won't pick it up, or if he does, he won't work. In another Ovazemba village not too far away, visibly poorer than the other, they call us to meet a mother with a 3-day-old baby.
Breathing a lot. She master breastfeeding his baby, her baby.
She's asking if at the hospital there is any injection which they do give after delivery.
Yeah.
To make a
Francisca, yeah. What's your name?
The woman has not chosen to give birth at home. Her child was born on the road to the hospital. She would have preferred to give birth at the hospital because at least she would have had a correct meal during the 2 days of hospitalization. Her first child was born at the hospital. I asked if she can compare the two deliveries. She answered that she doesn't see any difference. I think that when you are hungry, there is no room for respecting tradition or even claiming your rights.
There is no blanket. You can sit. Come and sit. No problem.
Clean.
The Bushmen are the oldest inhabitants of Africa, where they have lived for at least 20,000 years. Their homes is in Kalahari Desert. Unfortunately, I meet the most ancient people in a dump into the first outskirts close to the city of Okongo.
Yeah, the husband must burn the fire. And they don't lose the fire. There is less possibility for the father.
Apart from the evident poverty and misery, there is an atmosphere of desolation. The loss of their lands, destitution, cultural breakdown, and high poverty levels have made the Bushmen the only group in Namibia whose health status has declined since independence. Having lost their original source of food, they now depend entirely on governmental food aid. The health problems are due mainly to poverty and marginalization.
And I'm so interested on giving birth. Are we giving birth in the tradition? And if you remember,
These two women say that they cannot steer anymore because they are old. The young women of their village don't know how to assist in the birth anymore. Their tradition is interrupted. All was ended when they were forced to become permanent. I decided to go searching for the Bushmen still living in their traditions. We traveled 800 more kilometers to the village of Tsunkwe. The 9-9 Development Foundation of Namibia was founded in 1981. The mission is to support and empower the Bushmen people in Namibia to improve their quality of life economically and socially, including land and human rights and the sustainable use of natural sources. They welcome me with no small amount of disturb, above all when I declare that I'm a physician.
does she know about any problem?
The tension loosens when I started the conversation by telling them about the first time I gave birth. Among the Bushmen, birth is not generally a big issue. They don't really prepare. They refuse to go to the hospital, even if they admit that sometimes a complication can occur.
It's ready to take the baby when he's not ready. Is it true or not?
But that's
It's happened.
The woman who is about to give birth will simply go behind a bush and squeeze out the baby. They would accept going to the hospital only if a problem occurs during delivery. They admit that sometimes it's too late to go. She tells me about the recent death of a woman in the village. When I tell them that in Congo the Bushman women don't know how to assist the birth anymore, and it's why they go to the hospital, they don't believe me. In our trip to Congo, we have seen how nomadic people, once forced to become sedentary and dependent of government, have sacrificed their cultural identity and lost the boldness of their traditions, including that of traditional birth. In the heart of Hawa Zemba, I have understood that hungry people who cannot satisfy their needs are people who will never vindicate their rights and they'll accept any hospital treatment. In Tsunkwe village, women give birth alone under a tree. However, they tell me that it's not always easy and that sometimes it happens that they need a doctor, but that is often too late when they realize that the consequences are so sad. In Opuwo, two women of two different tribes, both apparently in harmony with their origins and their culture, sent me three clear messages about delivering at the hospital. We would like an accompanying person nearby during delivery. We prefer to give birth in the sitting position. We would like to be treated with more love. We have known about oxytocin hormone for a long time. It could also be called hormone of love. We know that empathy instigates the release of oxytocin, and oxytocin favors contraction and an easy birth. We have known for a long time that endorphins, which are released when we are happy, strengthen the immune system and help us better face illnesses. They are also natural painkillers and raise up pain tolerance levels. Why is it so difficult to admit that love is part of medical care? It can happen that a birth that was not considered high risk turns suddenly into a catastrophe. There is nothing sadder than to lose a woman and her child during a birth. A lot of women live too far away from the nearest hospital. This makes emergency transport almost impossible. Hospital delivery and the maternity waiting home are the best solution to avoid the tragedy. I would formulate two suggestions to give to the WHO as the conclusion of my study that would perhaps convince the women that are still resistant to come given birth at the hospital. To allow the women to give birth in their preferred position. To allow and encourage the presence of a friend during the birth. I dream of an hospital where every woman can give birth according to her traditions. I dream of an hospital in which the birth is an occasion for the woman to reconnect with her own tradition, to become stronger, prouder, more independent and comforted by her own culture. I wish that the WHO will take anthropological aspects into greater consideration during project formulation. I wish for a different role of the physician. He can act as a mediator between tradition and modernity.